This is Lauren.
This is Trey.
And this
is the Partnership Podcast. On this week's episode of the Partnership Podcast, we do a recap of the Barbie movie. We are a month late, but it's good. Enjoy.
And then it's kind of a day off for both of us then. Yeah. If we don't pod, and then we can plan stuff other than sex. Like if we wanted to do like, say something like a hike. But generally we have sex on hikes.
Generally we do.
Edit that out.
Good morning, baby.
Good morning.
Happy anniversary of the day.
Baby, happy Easter. For those of you just on audio, my beloved wife has like red pants and a pink thing on, and she's got her Cruella DeVille nails. Yeah, she's quite eclectic. In me, I look like a modern trucker.
That is going to be the only thing if we switch to recording on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
I'm going to be client ready.
Yeah.
Not and am I workout ready?
I'll continue to look like I'm looking for a job.
Because when we record on Tuesdays, I head straight to the gym. So I just have my gym clothes on.
Sure.
But on Wednesdays, no. I like to get ready.
Good.
Yeah, right now, this is like my nod to Barbie, babe.
We went and saw the Barbie movie last night. Can you not tell
that this is my nod to Barbie?
And now we're going to talk about it.
It feels so contrived. I feel like we usually don't come into these chairs with such a agenda now. Mm-hmm. It does feel contrived. So I was trying to find a gentle way to it. I don't think there's a way.
So babe, Barbie movie thoughts, comments,
so babe.
Suggestions.
Okay, let's start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. Did you feel resistance in even going to see it with me?
No.
Oh.
What's
Why
the
did
big
you make that face?
What's the big blowback with Barbie, or what have people been shitting on it for? Is this like a big political thing?
So I almost pulled it up.
Real quick, friends and listeners, it's preseason football time. So I'm grinding tape right now, and I got to make sure that all my athletic boys are the correct ones, because we have the draft coming up this Saturday, August the 26th.
So he's a little distracted? Is that what
I'm a little distracted. So I'm not really in tune with the political landscape of the Barbie movie.
Other things take precedence in your mind right now.
Sure.
Some
people have kids. I have 2,000 of them.
And when he says that, gentle audience, he really means it. Sometime, golfers, if you find Trey on the course, ask him a real quick stat about someone, see if you can challenge his brain. Mm-hmm. It is fun. It's fun, that little, that mind of yours.
NFL from 2002 on. Talk to me.
2002. That is a lot of years, hon.
It's a lot of years.
It's like my mind with musical theater lyrics.
Yeah, that's my musical theater. The NFL's my musical theater.
I could pretty much, name a show. I could give you some stats.
Cool.
That is a real off tangent. Okay, so this is the flack I have heard from. It is mostly conservative right. And I always, it's so hard. I hate politicizing things. I hate citing things because I just don't think it's a very thinking person thing to do. And some of the flack I have heard is that it is mean, quote, literally mean to men.
Yeah, we have it rough. Keep going.
And that it's just so polarizing and stereotypical and paints men in a really bad light.
Does it? What do you think? Do you think it paints men in a bad light?
I mean, that was going to be my first question to you, but I can surely answer if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
I thought it was fucking fascinating how we start out. Spoiler alert, audience, don't listen or watch this episode if you haven't seen the movie. We are going to go into all of our favorite things. So stop, go somewhere else. Okay. I love that we start in Barbie Land and we see the minimalization of a gender. I like that we start there, and we see how
minimalized gender is
men in that one, right? That we see them ignored and they play no role and they're secondary, which 100% in my Barbie world. I had 13 Barbies and one Ken. He was married to Totally Hair Barbie, and then they had so many girls, so many children. Totally Hair Barbie I was thrilled, y'all. She is in the opening sequence. I screamed. I was like, Trey, there's totally hair Barbie.
Yeah.
But she had hair down to her knees. That's why she was totally hair Barbie. I cut her hair. And I thought it'd be such a cute little bob. But what you don't know when you're a kiddo is that it doesn't stay in a bob. It just goes like this.
Yeah, it just goes up.
It just goes up. So totally hair Barbie.
I got electrocuted Barbie. Yeah.
Like a mom who'd stuck her head into the socket.
Okay.
So anyway, that dismissiveness of part of humanity is painful, right? And so I kind of loved that we opened it there. I had no idea where it was going to go. I didn't do any research on the film. So then the moment when they go to real world and they're walking down the street and she's like, I'm feeling whatever, like
Objectified.
Yeah. And he's like, what does he say?
He's like, I'm feeling seen.
Yeah.
It's like people are looking at me.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing in the beginning of the movie is like, my whole like day is made or ruined if Barbie looks at me. That's what Ken said. Ryan Gosling. Dude, shout out to the boy Ryan Gosling. Did you see those fucking abs? And that's hard to do because he's a man. He's 40.
He is a man. He's
to get
not
those
a little
fucking
boy.
Yeah, to get those fucking abs like popping for months at a time. Shout out to the boy, dude.
Shout out. So anyway, did I think it was mean to men? These are the things I was waiting for. I was waiting for that moment at the very end where she goes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Because I don't believe, personally, in my own philosophy and opinion, that feminism is the downplay and the degradation of men. I do not believe that. I think that true feminism is equality of the sexes, of the genders. I think that true feminism is an uplifting of all.
You're saying like not to pull men down in the name of equality.
I just don't think that's the answer.
Okay.
I think I will sometimes see penis shaming, for instance.
Like he's got a weird penis or a little penis,
like,
or he doesn't know how to use his penis.
A tiny dick, as like some slur, some like angry thing. I'm not here for it.
Okay.
I'm not here for us needing to make somebody else smaller in order to make ourselves bigger.
Yeah, it's a reflection of.
Not here for it. So I was really hoping.
Yeah, you reflect what you do.
Yeah, that there would be a moment exactly like there was at the end, where once Barbie had experienced what Ken had been experiencing in Barbie Land, because that was going to make me cry. I think that's true healing, is owning what is ours to own, right? Yes, he stole her house. He did all this stuff, right? Like America Ferrera's role is like, hon, he took all these things from you. Don't back down now. Like, because she's like, I don't want to hurt him. Do you remember that moment where she's like, I don't want to hurt Ken?
Yeah.
And she's like, he took your house. He did this. He did that. Go get your house, right? So she does all the stuff. She gets what is hers, rightfully hers. And then she says, I am sorry that you felt that way and that I ever made you feel that way, because that is not a good way to feel. I love that. And
In Ken's defense, she wasn't using it.
is that some backhanded joke? Does the audience know that story?
So when we were going back and forth, traveling across the country, my squatty potty, when I came back to the East Coast, went missing. And I go, babe, where's my squatty potty? And Lauren got this look on her face, and she goes, you weren't using it. So you threw away my squatty potty.
So like...
And then I had to go get another squatty potty. You couldn't have put it in the basement?
Trey and I would spend like a maximum of like 3 weeks apart. So when I say he wasn't using it,
You weren't using it.
I just mean that he was in California.
So Barbie wasn't using her house, babe. By your, like, by, you know.
I understand. By my like
Yeah, by your
egalitarian
laws,
standards.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So yeah, I thought they walked this incredibly fine line of leaning into stereotypes just like they had done of women. Like I thought it was really equal in that, oh my God, were there some funny moments of like, I thought they were mean to, if they were mean to anything, they were mean to the patriarchy, big P, that hurts everybody.
Yeah.
That hurts men too. So I didn't think they were mean to the gender of people, male. I thought that was hilarious. But now I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Well, also, like, who cares? It's a Hollywood movie. And you know what? Most big budget Hollywood movies now are complete dog shit. And this one I found it very fucking funny from beginning to end. I thought it was hilarious. And, like, if you have strong opinions on the Barbie movie, what are you doing? What's going on in your life?
Yeah. No, actually, honey, I think that might be
Like,
a really true
what are you
statement.
kind of scared of if this thing is threatening the moral fabric of, I don't know, the family or America or some bullshit? It's a movie, and it's a funny movie, and isn't it supposed to be entertaining?
Yeah.
And then if it's not your cup of tea, don't go see it. It was I thought it was really funny. I didn't think it was going to be that funny.
Really?
I thought it was very funny. I'd watch that movie again. Yeah, I thought Gosling killed it. I thought Margot Robbie killed it. I thought all the supporting cast members killed it. I thought it was really well written and nuanced. And it was awesome.
You know what you always say is that the funniest things are the truth?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, we laugh the hardest at other people's misfortune. Think about it. Think about it.
Yeah.
Other people's, like, somebody slips and falls or bumps their head. Some of the funniest shit you've ever seen.
America's Funniest Home Videos from
Correct.
the dawn of time.
The Jackass. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah, think of the top three things that you've laughed
Bridesmaids.
at. It's either your misfortune or someone else's. Generally, it's someone else's misfortune, which is very, very truthful.
Yeah.
The funniest stuff is the truth.
The baby said that the other day. She was laughing so hard at like a video and said, I kind of feel bad that the thing that makes me laugh the hardest is when people fall down.
Yeah.
I said, honey, like, again.
There's something hardwired. There's something hardwired in us where we crack up at that.
Mm-hmm. It's probably narrative storytelling, glad it wasn't me, that type of thing. But also when I fall, when I have like a spill sometimes or I knock into something, it's funny to me. Mm-hmm. Like, Lord have mercy. It's physical comedy. Think it's like what, I don't know, comedians have been doing, like silly, like black and white mime comedians forever.
What was the other pushback on this flick? Was it just that?
Yeah, no. The main thing that I have heard, that there is a trans woman in it, and so
there is. Where?
She's one of the Barbies in Barbie World.
Great.
Yeah. And that there are out queer humans, like people who are not heterosexual, and so we are uplifting the stance of people who are not heterosexual.
Okay. Like, how dare them? Let me talk about that. Like, if you're trying to live like a happy, truthful life, and you're paying your taxes and you're a net positive to like your community, how fucking dare you try to live your truthful existence being gay or queer? You need to go get yourself a man or a woman. Does it make your stomach churn at the thought of like being intimate with that like gender? You need to figure it out so you make everybody else, or at least a very small percentage of the population, slightly more comfortable.
And heaven forbid you try to get a job at doing what you're good at
doing. Hey, you only got one life, so you better do it the way that, I don't know.
No.
They have gays in a Hollywood film, huh? Yep.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Sexuality is build your own omelet. That's what it is. It's build your own omelet.
What made you laugh so hard? Because, I was shocked. It's funny that you said you didn't expect it to be so funny.
No.
I didn't expect you to laugh so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. What stood out as funny to you? And then you can ask me the same question.
I think it was the nuance because there were a bunch of bits and they were going after bits, but it was layered. And it's very funny that a man is discovering that kind of men, that's what it was. When Ken came to the real world and he's discovering it's like, wait a minute, like men pretty much control everything. And then he asked that one guy, he goes, okay, like, what do I need to get like a high powered job here? And he goes, well, you're going to need an MBA and a doctorate. And he goes, can I just be a man? And he goes, no, I mean, it's not really like that popular right now. It's very little. It's like, so you guys aren't doing the patriarchy, right? And the guy's like, listen, buddy, we're doing the patriarchy. Okay. We just don't, we keep it on the low. And it's like, fuck yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That bit was one of like,
and it was a female director, right?
Totally. And written by
a female and a man, right? But like shout out to the men in charge that said that female director could direct that movie, that gave her permission. And then shout out to all of the men that gave the money to make that film for women empowerment.
That whole
shout out to all the boys.
All the men.
Let's hear it for the boys.
All the men in the boardroom.
Let's hear it for the boys that approved that movie.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're doing just fine.
Margot actually bought the rights. Yeah,
to what?
To
the
Barbie.
Script?
Yeah. And
nice.
then she went out and sought out Greta.
Greta wrote it.
I think so. I'm about to say so. I don't know.
We're misquoting the
You're
fuck
going to have
out
to
of
like,
this thing.
boom, if Lauren.
I'm not doing any of that. We're misquoting the fuck out of this thing. You can do that.
Greta
I'm not gonna. You know what? I'm not gonna do the heavy lift on this. Okay.
No.
Miss Woman Empowerment. You do the heavy lift. So don't exaggerate the facts, okay? Because that
was one of my favorite moments when he's like, wait, I can't just get it for being a man. And he's like, well, I mean.
he had to do a long, hard thought. And everything was about horses, the strong, like men on horses. That became such a premise of the movie where it's like a man on a horse is like, this is the ultimate. Great flick. It was a great fucking flick. I'd see it again.
Me. Yeah, I would too. I want to see it with Beatrice. Yeah. Was it off-putting? I have heard, another piece of pushback I got was that cisgendered hetero men were like, I don't want to go see that. That's stupid.
I get that.
I
get that, totally.
Oh my God.
It's a movie about dolls. I get that.
One of my favorite parts.
Like, do you want to go see like Expendables 4, a movie just about gratuitous violence and guns?
Can I finish my statement?
Can you answer the question, please?
No.
You don't want to see it. Why not? Because it's just not interesting to you.
Can I finish my statement? Thank you for this woman empowerment moment. Do you remember the part in the movie where she's like, I'll be quiet and listen to you talk about The Godfather and talk through the whole thing?
Oh, yeah, it's hilarious. Or just, whatchamacallit, I'm going to help you swing a tennis racket or a golf club. It's like, I'll show you how to do it.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
No, but that part about The Godfather is super funny because so many of us in female bodies, gendered women, have sat there and done that with The Godfather. I have.
Really?
Honey, I have seen so many boy movies and listened to men tell me why they're so great. I have gone on dates to boy movies.
Okay.
And just been like,
and like a man talks through it the whole time?
Or been like, built it up for me. Like, this is why we should go see this new, different Marvel movie. I'm not saying that there's not women out there who adore Marvel or like,
sure.
That's fine. But I have gone to movies, and I think so many of our cis hetero women would say this, because it was going to make me feel, and this is on me, and this is patriarchy, big P, more attractive to the man if I went and indulged his interests.
That was the whole thing when it became like Kenland, where it was like now all the women are agreeable to us. Yes. Where they're not empowered, now they're agreeable.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think there's a big difference between a partner saying, which is what we did. We did a practice of consensual communication. Will you see this with me? It would mean a lot to me if you came and saw this movie with me. You had agency to say no, but you said yes. Versus also there's movies, Batman's one of your favorites. And we went to see Batman. That felt completely different than me sitting through Batman. That was a joy for me because I know the history Batman has to you. I know the fascination. I wanted to be able to talk about that with you afterwards.
Sure. And also, if you didn't want to go to Batman, I'm not going to be offended.
No.
No, just go to Batman.
Right. But why did you choose to go to this?
The Barbie movie?
Yeah.
We're going to pod about it, then we're going to put it on YouTube and Spotify. Make sure and click the subscribe button and follow. And then Lauren sees clients. So if you ever want to talk to Lauren like one-to-one, you want to get a little FaceTime with the old wife over here, what you can do is you can go to sexedforyou.com and schedule a free 15-minute consult with my beloved wife. And then, like, say if it works out where you want to, like, talk about your problems and try to solve them, or if you just want to talk at her, too, she will take your money. Let's get back to this episode.
That was well done, baby.
Thanks, babe.
Well done. I'm going to let you do all my advertising.
Okay, so Barbie movie, I wanted to go because I wanted to talk about it.
Okay.
It did seem like a polarizing topic in the zeitgeist. It was everywhere. The marketing was amazing. Nice job, Warner Brothers. And they're probably all like straight white males that did all that marketing, I'm sure, because that's what Hollywood is, a bunch of straight white males. And what else? Ryan Gosling. I watch Ryan Gosling movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's such we've talked about this a little bit before, but I don't think we've ever potted about it. Chick flicks, quote unquote. And the amount of humans who, now, I think they're asking questions that are not a question. I think what they really want is connection with their partner, right? They want to go to a movie together, spend time together, and have them enter into their world for a little bit. But they're not saying that. They're like, will you see this chick flick with me? And their partners are like, no, not really interested in seeing that chick flick, which then they feel hurt because they didn't ask the real question. The real question is, will you connect with me over this subject matter that's important to me and feel something with me, be in a space with me where I feel something? But we've talked about, what's the movie you love? Notting Hill?
Yeah, great movie.
Yeah.
Julia Roberts and
Hugh.
Yeah, Hugh Grant.
Yeah. Do you think it's because you grew up in a... Why do you think you're comfortable with some of those movies? Do you know that's...
I mean, there's very few of those movies, but I found that to be a good movie. So I enjoyed it.
It meant a lot to me. And there have been
That I like Notting Hill.
that you came to Barbie movie.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. And I know you're always like, the bar is so low.
Yeah, the bar's so low.
Yeah.
Yeah, for men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of partners I know who are going, ooh, no, I won't go see that with you.
I do that too all the time, though. I say ooh, no constantly.
Yeah, and then you retract.
Yeah. It's my ethos.
It is. His go-to is no,
Yeah.
like constantly. But I love it. And then you soften up.
And you asked. You just said, like, hey, baby, I want to see this movie, and then I want to pod about it. And we made time for it.
I really wanted to talk about subjects in there. So I don't know, there's a piece of, I don't know, nugget for individuals. If you are interested in your partner attending something with you, going along with you on something, talk about what it would provide for you instead of just asking them to do the thing with them. That's the question. That's not a question that I'm talking about. There was more than just you going to Barbie with me. I didn't need you necessarily to be arm candy. People should check in with themselves if that's what they're looking for. I really wanted to talk about it with you. I knew it was going to bring up some gender role conversations. I knew that it was going to touch on some pieces from my past. I knew I was going to see Barbies that I grew up with. And that felt really tender to me and something I wanted you there for. Yeah, because I really like talking to you. I really like discussing things with you, chewing them afterwards. And this isn't something that I just wanted to go see with my female friends. So yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Other stuff things that came up for you while I think? Some of the funniest moments for me and most fun things for me, were seeing like the dollhouses life size, because I think every kid, when they're playing with toys when they're little, imagines what it would be like if they were the scale of these things. So especially the slide that comes out of Barbie's house, like that was a big deal. Like I always wanted to slide down that slide in my like imagination. And so getting to see it in real life was wow to me. Yeah. The mother-daughter thing was really interesting for me too. Like that combo, and especially sweet right now with my like tween at that age, it was a weepy part for me. What did you think of the monologue that America Ferrera gives? I don't know the name of her character, about like women can't do anything right. She's like talking to Barbie. She's like, she's like laying down, I think, on her face in Weird Barbie's house, which also shout out to that character.
It's very funny.
Hilarious. But that whole moment,
The speech that...
yeah, the speech.
Yeah, where it's women have to be all these different things, but it has to be so nuanced, and they can't, they have to be a leader, but they can't be bitchy, and they have to love their kids, but you can't talk about it a lot, and you have to be soft, but you have to be strong. Yeah, what's your...
Yeah, what
did I think about
how does
it?
that land in a...
It wasn't corny, so it was good.
Interesting.
I thought it was good, because that could have gone like corny really easily. I didn't find it corny, personally. So it's good. What'd you think of it?
Was a gut punch. I had a tough couple of days leading up to this movie, and I think I needed the gut punch to realize why those days had been difficult on me, because I often hold myself to this impossible standard. I literally said to my Reiki practitioner the other day, like, I want to go, I want to run, I want to succeed, but I don't want to be too hard, right? And
You don't want to be too in your masculine because you're afraid of what can happen, or if you're too in your masculine, can you get out of it? Yeah, I get all that, babe. Yeah. I've dated women that are too in their masculine, and eventually it just becomes kind of stomach churning,
right.
Unfortunately.
I know. So it's hard.
And that's just for me. I'm not saying that in general, but it's and these are beautiful, like, feminine women, but it's an energy. Like masculine and feminine is an energy.
I know.
Because there are certain men that are huge and big and they, strong presenting. And masculine, they do all these masculine things, but they have more of a feminine energy. And then the yin and the yang, they'll need more of a masculine woman to balance that out. Where my energy is more in the masculine. So, like, if I'm met with like a masculine energy from a woman, it's just like, oh, okay. Well, you know what it is? There's no romance there, where there's no like genuine romantic connection. So I get that that's a fear.
Yeah, let me expound on some of the things you're saying, because it's something I've been actually thinking and working with a lot of people on right now, because you're exactly right. It's not that you can't respect the person. It's not that they're not a worthy human being to be around, to be good friends with, blah, blah, blah. It is when we are talking sexual energies, we need less similarity, more polarity. And you study whatever you want to study, and it has nothing to do with gender. I hear you, and I'm so proud of you for saying this. It has so much to do with energy. So we could say masculine, feminine. We could say Shiva, Shakti. We could say yin and yang. We could say go and flow. There are so many. There's even more than that. But when one person feels more comfortable in one, you want to look for a sexual partner who feels more comfortable in the other. I get in my head, as do many human beings, so I'm just sharing this openly, with when I am in, and we talk about this openly, a season of production for my business. When I am in a season of production for my business, the go, I am deeply afraid that I will become unattractive to you. And I want to really be careful with this, because I don't want that to keep me from chasing my dreams.
Yeah, and then in our relationship, you're applauded. Like, you're encouraged and applauded and supported for being in these deep seasons of production. And it's always, correct me if I'm wrong, it's always been that way.
Always. No, you've been, honestly, the
and then
wind beneath my wings.
And then for me, say, I don't even know if this is, but like a meditation practice and more mindfulness and more opening, like mentally and spiritually. I don't know if that's more feminine or masculine or neutral, but when I'm applauded for those things.
Yeah. Baths, rest,
Sure.
naps.
Yeah, I'm not criticized for those things. And also granted that I'm taking care of business, meaning being accountable for who I am, where I am, paying the bills, and taking care of myself and being honest. So I do all those things, and then I get applauded for rest.
Yeah. I think the movie was a great challenge to me, I'm not going to speak for you, look to my partnership for the yin, the yang, the Shiva, the Shakti, the go, the flow, not to patriarchy, big P, because that is not who gives me permission. I love that you made a joke about that before, right? It is in here that I can check in, right? And there'll be times, you even said it, you said it last night, because you know how much this means to me. When I am in a season where I want to put my head down, I call it hermit, when I want to like go internal so that I can like pierce, I will often need to go away.
Yeah.
I often need to go away, because I do not want that energy to interact with my partnership, because it's not about my sexuality. It's not about the sex. It's about the dreams that I want to build at that time. And I don't want to have to worry about it. And you have always supported me in that. Always. Right? Go. Right? Where do we need to book you? So that you can go be in your go energy, your piercing energy, your phallic energy that I have access to, without any fear that it's going to offend you. It never. If I stayed home and did it, it wouldn't offend you, as long as I communicated.
Yeah, as long as you communicate. That's the big thing.
Ding ding.
You kind of ask for what you need, and then you go like, how does that sit with you, Trey? And then I get to speak my truth.
Yeah.
The lack of communication is it's where things get fucked up.
Agreed. Agreed. Thanks for listening or watching to this episode of the Partnership Podcast. A year ago today, Trey and I decided to get hitched. It's a special little day. And by the time this podcast comes out, it'll be the 1-year anniversary of the Partnership Podcast. Shout out. I do, in fact, work with clients. New running joke. If you are looking to discuss topics like this with your partner, you can go to www.sexedforyou.com/free consult to request a consult of your own. Remember, these are opinions. Remember, we are human. It's one of the reasons we wanted to do this podcast in the first place, was that in teaching my clients, I realized that they had some misconstrued idea that we had all this figured out. We don't. This is real time and real conversations. So please do your research. This is a how we podcast, not a how to podcast. Thanks for listening and watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.